Hello, and I'm Delia, and I'm back for Chapter 5, continuing The Awakening. This is Part 2. Human blood, the ultimate elixir, the forbidden wine, more intoxicating than any liquor, the steaming essence of life itself, and he was so tired of fighting the need. There had been a movement on the bank under the bridge. As a pile of old rags stirred, in the next instant Stephen had landed gracefully, cat-like, beside it. His hand shot out and pulled the rags away, exposing a wizened, blinking face atop a scrawny neck. His lips drew back. And then there was no sound but the feeding. Now, as he stumbled up the main staircase of the boarding house, he tried not to think about it and not to think about her, about the girl who tempted him with her warmth and her life. She had been the one he truly desired, but he must put a stop to that. He must kill any such thoughts before they were started from now on, for his sake and for her own. He was her worst nightmare come true, and she didn't even know it.
Were you following me?
Who's there?
I saw you fall.
Is that you, boy?
Uh-huh.
A cracked voice called sharply. One of the second-story doors opened, and a gray head poked out. Yes, Signora, Miss Flowers. I'm sorry if I disturbed you. Aw, it takes more than a creaky floorboard to disturb me. You locked the door behind you. Yes, Signora. You're safe. That's right. We need to be safe here. You never know what might be out there in those woods, do you? He looked quickly at the smiling little face surrounded by whips of gray hair. The bright darting eyes was there, a secret hidden in them. Good night, Signora. Good night, boy. She shut the door. In his own room he fell onto the bed and lay staring up at the low, slanting ceiling. Usually he rested uneasily at night. It was not his natural sleeping time, but tonight he was tired. It took so much energy to face the sunlight, and the heavy metal, and the heavy meal only contributed to his lethargy. Soon, although his eyes did not close, he no longer saw the whitewashed ceiling above him. Random scraps of memory floated through his mind. Catherine, so lovely. That evening by the fountain, moonlight silvering her pale golden hair. How proud he had been to sit with her, to be the one to share her secret. But can you never go out in sunlight? I can, yes, as long as I wear this. She held up a small white hand, and the moonlight shone on the lapis ring there. But the sun tires me so much. I have never been very strong. Stephen looked at her, at the delicacy of her features and the slightness of her body. She was almost as insubstantial as spun glass. No, she would never have been strong. I was often ill as a child, she said softly, her eyes on the play of water in the fountain. The last time the surgeon finally said I would die, I remember Papa crying, and I remember lying in my big bed, too weak to move. Even breathing was too much effort. I was so sad to leave the world, and so cold, so very cold. She shivered and then smiled. But what happened? I woke in the middle of the night to see Guldran, my maid, standing over my bed, and then she stepped aside, and I saw the man she brought. I was frightened. His name was Klaus, and I'd heard the people in the village say he was evil. I cried out to Guldran to save me, but she just stood there watching. When he put his mouth to my neck, I thought he was going to kill me. She paused. Stephen was staring at her in horror and pity, and she smiled comfortably at him. It was not so terrible after all. There was a little pain at first, but that quickly went away, and then the feeling was actually pleasant. When he gave me of his own blood to drink, I felt stronger than I had for months. and then we waited out the hours together until dawn. When the surgeon came, he couldn't speak. He couldn't believe I was able to sit up and speak.
I wanted to apologize for my disappearing after I know it was strange. No worries.
Papa said it was a miracle, and he cried again from happiness.
Something like that.
Her face clouded. I will have to leave my papa sometime soon. One day he realized that since that illness, I have not grown an hour older.
Small town. That's the first person I saw.
And you never will. No, that is the wonder of it, Stephen. She gazed up at him with childlike joy. I will be young forever, and I will never die. Can you imagine? He could not imagine her as anything other than what she was now, lovely, innocent, and perfect. But you did not find it frightening at first. At first, a little, but Goldrin showed me what to do. It was she who told me to have this ring made with a gem that will protect me from sunlight. While I lay in bed, she brought me rich, warm possets to drink. Later, she brought small animals her son trapped. Not people? Her laughter rang out. Of course not. I can get all I need in a night from a dove. Goldrin said that if I wished to be powerful, I should take human blood, for the life essence of humans is strongest. And Klaus used to urge me to. He wanted to exchange blood again, but I tell Goldrin I do not want power. And as for Klaus, she stopped and dropped her eyes so that heavy lashes lay on her cheek. Her voice was very soft as she continued. I do not think it is a thing to be done lightly. I will take human blood only when I have to. Only when I have found my companion, the one who will be by my side for all eternity. She looked up at him gravely. Okay, that was part 2, and we're moving on to part 3 in just a second.